All right, hey everyone. So, if you've been paying attention to the NFL and the latest talk and trending headlines, it's about how they're firing pretty much all the black head coaches, and we're down to one left in the NFL, and that is Mike Tomlin. And what stands out about just this whole topic and the firing of them is, this is what I want to talk about. So, the latest coach that was black to get fired came yesterday on January 13th, a date that can be written 113. And 113 is the 30th prime number. And in this meme, you'll notice I included his last name, Coley, equates to 30, as well as fired and Texas, because he was the Texans head coach. And one thing I failed to put in here or mention, but it's important now to see how it's such a big topic, is how the N-word and slavery both equate to 30, just like Coley fired in Texas. And not only that, yesterday was the 13th day of the year, and if you notice his record, he went 4-13 as the Texans coach. And so 13 losses and fired on the 13th. But so just seeing how, you could just throw in the N-word and slavery to go right along with this, since that's the topic they want to be talking about right now, is black head coaches. Prior to that, on January 10th, you had the firing of Brian Flores, and that was a date numerology of 33, like his last name Flores, 33, and fired equates to 33. But another, just taking it back, like from today, looking at this and noticing how the headline is about black head coaches, looking at the word fired definitely stands out even more, just because fired in the most simple cipher equates to 42. And 42 is often the number we always see stamped on black people in terms of talking about Gematria. And that is because in the most pure cipher, the N-word equates to 42, and slavery also carries the 42. And just taking a look at this headline, how it states, is the NFL black head coach in a no-win situation. And noticing that no win is emphasized here in quotations. No win equals 30 and 60, just like the N-word equals 30 and 60. And slavery, of course, 30. But again, I kind of want to just go back and open up a blog I made a while back that I never presented, just to show, especially the new people here, how significant the number 42 is in regards to black people. Okay, so notice that black person and black history both carry the gematria of 181. And 181 is the 42nd prime number. History equals 42, but talking about Obama in his full name, Barack Hussein Obama II, equals 181, again, as a black person and making big black history, 181. So it's something important to just realize and keep in mind. Kamala equals 42. And we know all about Kamala making her own history. The N-word again, slavery, 42. Tuskegee, 42. The Huxtable family on the Cosby Show. Huxtable equals 42, like Cosby Show. Bus equals 42, and you think of Rosa Parks. And Rosa Parks has a 4/2 birthday. I recently watched the movie The Color Purple. In The Color Purple, the main character is Whoopi Goldberg. Seeley equals 42. Looking at Boys in the Hood, the kid in the jersey here wearing number 42 throughout pretty much every scene as they were children, and then they became adults, and Ice Cube was starred in it. Ice Cube equals 42. The word boy equals 42, which is often a derogatory term used on black men. The word Tyson, which makes me think of Mike Tyson or Cicely Tyson, 42. Muhammad Ali, 42. Chappelle, Cat Williams, Martin, all well-known black comedians. They all equate to 42. In the TV show Martin lived in apartment number 42. Malcolm X, 42. Even black activist equals 42. In February, which we know as Black History Month, February equals 42. Then getting down to Jackie Robinson and how he wore number 42, and Jackie equates to 42. Moses Walker was actually the first black MLB player who played in a total of 42 games. And his name, Moses Walker, equals 42. LeBron James, 42. Viola Davis, Dak Prescott, 42. Wardell, who's Steph Curry's actual name, Wardell Curry. Wardell, I noted here, equals 30, just like how he wears number 30, and there's 30 teams in the NBA, slavery 30, the N-word 30. But notice Wardell also equals 42, and it was back in 2010. Curry had his then career point high of 42 points, which reminded me of Kobe Bryant on how he had his career high of 81 points, and Kobe being Bryant equates to 81. I mean, so scripted, all these players in the league. I mean, they're not, I mean, sure, some of them are talented, but they're all put there for a purpose. And yeah, I just went on to show a lot of documentation on the numbers, but that was mostly all the 42s I gathered for this blog. But just noticing and seeing how 42 is a real number that is definitely stamped on black people. I'm going to get to the very first NFL head coach, who was the first black head coach at the time, Fritz Pollard. And I want to point out that he died on a 102 date numerology, May 11th of 1986. And 102 is significant because of the N-word in slavery, also carrying the 102 Gematria, which is another reason why I think this is such a hot topic right now, talking about the black NFL coaches, is because we are in the 102nd NFL season. So just for that to be noted. The next NFL black head coach was Art Shell, who was born on a 102 date numerology, November 26th of 1946. But the 102 seems to be important in his career because it was on October 3rd, 1989, that he was hired as the Los Angeles Raiders head coach, which was a date numerology of 102, 10 plus 3 plus 89. And he's still alive at the age of 75 years old. And I just want to note that his full name, Arthur Lee Shell Jr., equates to 75, so could be something there. And I mean, it just makes me think how the NBA is in its 75th NBA season, and we all know how they like to correlate and intertwine the world of sports and entertainment. The next NFL head coach that was black was Dennis Green. You'll notice he died at the age of 67, but he was born on a 42 date numerology, February 17th, 1949. Just to state here, he would be only the second African American head coach after Art Shell in the modern NFL era, and the first to do so without ever playing in the NFL. But overall, he's the third head black coach in the NFL after Pollard and Shell. Something I noticed about him is the words football coach equates to 113, 50, and 67. 67, again, like how he died at the age of 67. But the 113 sticks out because he had a career total of wins of 113 wins. And the 50 makes sense with him as well because he died just right after Super Bowl 50 in 2016. Getting to Tony Dungy, he was actually the first black head coach to win the Super Bowl. And so stating that, first head black coach to win a Super Bowl, notice the word black equates to 106, just like his birthday is 10/6, and Black Lives Matter 106, Black Power 106, Negroes 106. He won Super Bowl 41, which stands out about that is because it was held on a date written 4/2, February 2nd. So on 4/2, you get the first black man as a coach to win a Super Bowl. I mean, pretty fitting for that once we know the importance of the number 42. And then finally we get to Mike Tomlin, who is the remaining head black coach in the NFL. I want to just show the parallel between Black and Tomlin. Black equates to 29 and 34, just like Tomlin equates to 29 and 34. But one thing that really stands out to me about him is the date that he was hired as the Steelers head coach, January 27th of 2007. That just goes right back to the first NFL black head coach, Fritz Pollard, because his birthday was January 27th. So if you want to look at the day that Tomlin's hired of 2007 and taking the difference of what year Pollard was born in 1894, that means that would have been Pollard's 113th day of his year of life. Like, he would have been 113 years old the day that Tomlin was signed as the head coach. And football coach equals 113, again, like we talked about. But not only that, African American coach equals 92, just like how Fritz Pollard died at the age of 92. And if you take Mike Tomlin's full name, Michael Pettyway Tomlin, he carries the 92 and 115, kind of like the day that Pollard died, 11/5, or May 11th. So definitely something there. Just makes me kind of think how Pollard was the first NFL head coach that was black, and it's almost like we're resetting things since we just fired 2 black head coaches this week, and Tomlin's now the remaining and only black NFL coach. So maybe there's something with the number 127, or I'm not sure, but there's definitely something there. It just makes me think it's like a resetting phase because of that comparison between the two of them. Notice that Tomlin won Super Bowl 43, and Super Bowl 43 was held on February 1st, 2009. Well, if you run that date to what would have been, or what was Tomlin's upcoming birthday, March 15th of 2009, you'll see it was 42 days difference for another 42 stamped on a black man winning his Super Bowl, just like how Dungy won his Super Bowl on 4/2. Or you can say it was a span of 43 days, and that has significance with the word football, because football equals 43. So that's pretty much all I gathered there. I just kind of wanted to get a start on looking at the history of NFL black head coaches. But I mean, definitely numbers that we often see stamped every day on black people in the news. So I guess that's where I'm going to leave it. Cool. I'll see you later.